What if I told you that three of the most important medical discoveries in the last 50 years, discoveries so significant they each won a Nobel Prize, were not about new drugs, not about surgery, and not about expensive treatments? What if they were about something already happening inside your body right now as you watch this? Here's what most people don't realize. Your body is not passively aging. It is constantly fighting to repair itself, clean itself, and rebuild itself at the cellular level. The problem is, many of our daily habits are quietly working against these built-in systems, and most of us have no idea. My name is Dr. Emma Thompson, and today I want to walk you through three extraordinary biological discoveries, each one backed by Nobel Prize-winning science, that reveal exactly how your body is designed to stay healthy longer. More importantly, I'll show you what research suggests you can do, starting today, to support these systems rather than sabotage them. By the end of this video, you'll understand aging in a way most people never do. And you'll have three practical, science-backed habits you can begin immediately. No prescription required. Section 1. The invisible clock ticking inside every cell. Imagine every one of your cells carries a tiny clock. Not a metaphorical clock, a physical, measurable one. And every time that cell divides to replace old or damaged tissue, that clock ticks one step closer to its limit. This is not a theory. It is one of the most well-documented findings in modern biology, and it earned Dr. Elizabeth Blackburn the Nobel Prize in Medicine in 2009. Here's how it works. Inside the nucleus of every cell, your genetic information is organized into structures called chromosomes. And at the very tips of those chromosomes sit small protective sequences of DNA called telomeres. Think of them like the plastic tips on the ends of a shoelace. Their entire job is to protect the chromosome from fraying, from damage, and from losing vital genetic information each time the cell replicates. The problem? Every time a cell divides, those telomere tips get slightly shorter. Over years and decades, they wear down. And when telomeres become critically short, the cell can no longer divide safely. It either stops functioning or triggers an inflammatory response that contributes to the very diseases most of us are most afraid of: cardiovascular disease, Alzheimer's, certain cancers, and type 2 diabetes. Dr. Blackburn's research also uncovered something remarkable, an enzyme called telomerase, which your body can actually use to rebuild and restore telomere length. Under the right conditions, your cells have a built-in repair mechanism for this aging clock. The question is, are you giving your body the conditions it needs to use it? Section 2. Stress is aging you faster than your birthday. Here is the part of this story that stopped researchers in their tracks. In the landmark study following mothers who were long-term caregivers for children with chronic illnesses, scientists made a finding that changed how we think about stress entirely. The longer these mothers had been in sustained, high-stress caregiving situations, regardless of their age, the shorter their telomeres were. Not slightly shorter, measurably, significantly shorter. Chronic psychological stress was physically accelerating cellular aging. That means stress is not just something you feel, it is something your DNA experiences. And the cumulative effect of years of unmanaged stress may be shortening your health span at a biological level that we can now actually measure. But here is the empowering side of that discovery, because there is one. A study from the University of California found that high-stress caregivers who practiced a form of focused meditation for just 12 minutes a day for 2 months showed measurable improvement in their telomere maintenance capacity. 12 minutes. That is less time than most people spend scrolling before bed. Other research suggests that moderate, consistent exercise, walking, cycling, swimming, helps preserve telomere length. So does prioritizing 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep, eating a diet rich in colorful vegetables, whole grains, and omega-3 fatty acids from sources like salmon and walnuts, and maintaining strong social connections. A growing body of evidence links social isolation to accelerated cellular aging, while supportive relationships have been associated with longer, healthier telomeres. As Dr. Blackburn herself noted, these findings essentially rediscovered what good health has always looked like. But now we understand the molecular reason why it works. What researchers discovered next, though, took this even further. Because it turns out aging isn't just about what's happening to the outside of your cells. Section 3. Your cells run a nightly cleaning shift. Are you letting them? Picture a busy restaurant kitchen at the end of a long service. Dishes are piled up, surfaces need scrubbing, equipment needs maintenance. If the cleaning crew never gets the chance to come in and do their work, the kitchen slowly becomes dysfunctional. Eventually, it breaks down. Your cells face exactly this challenge, and in 2016, Dr. Yoshinori Osumi won the Nobel Prize in Physiology for discovering the process your body uses to solve it, a cellular self-cleaning mechanism called autophagy. The word itself comes from the Greek for self-eating, which sounds alarming, but is actually one of the most elegant survival systems in biology. When your cells are under stress or deprived of nutrients, they activate a process that identifies old, damaged, or dysfunctional components, worn-out proteins, damaged organelles, packages them up, and recycles them for energy or rebuilding material. Dr. Osumi demonstrated this by placing yeast cells under nutrient-deprived conditions and observing the recycling structures, called autophagosomes, pile up and become visible under a microscope. What he revealed was that autophagy is not random. It is a precisely regulated, genetically programmed response to specific internal signals. And it is essential for preventing the kind of cellular accumulation that contributes to inflammation, premature aging, and disease. Here is the critical insight that most people miss. Autophagy is largely switched off when you are constantly eating. Every time you consume food, your body activates a molecular pathway called mTOR, essentially a green light that tells your cells to grow and produce. That is useful. But mTOR simultaneously suppresses autophagy. When mTOR is always active, your cellular cleaning crew never gets to clock in. Modern eating patterns, frequent snacking, eating late into the night, rarely going more than a few hours without food, keep mTOR almost permanently activated. Which means, for many people, the cellular maintenance system that Dr. Osumi discovered never fully engages. Studies suggest that time-restricted eating, limiting your food intake to a window of 8 hours or fewer per day, can begin activating autophagy by suppressing mTOR and stimulating a complementary pathway called AMPK. Longer fasting windows of 24 hours or more have shown even more substantial increases in autophagy markers in controlled research settings, though these approaches should always be discussed with a physician first. Interestingly, moderate aerobic exercise and endurance training have also been shown to induce autophagy in muscle tissue and the brain, making movement one of the most powerful and accessible cellular maintenance tools available. Simply put, giving your body longer rest between meals and moving it regularly may be two of the most scientifically supported things you can do for cellular longevity. But there is still one more piece of this puzzle, and it may be the most overlooked of all. Section 4. The tiny factory that builds everything. You are. Every structure in your body, your muscles, your immune cells, your hormones, the enzymes that run your metabolism, is made of protein. And every single one of those proteins is assembled by microscopic structures inside your cells called ribosomes. Ribosomes are extraordinarily small. A single cell contains millions of them, and their job, performed billions of times per second across your body, is to read your genetic instructions and translate them into the proteins your body needs to function. In 2009, Dr. Venkatraman Ramakrishnan won the Nobel Prize in Chemistry for mapping the precise molecular structure of the ribosome, revealing for the first time exactly how this essential machinery works at an atomic level. His research gave scientists a fundamentally new understanding of how cells maintain health and why disruptions to ribosomal function are connected to aging, neurodegeneration, and cancer. Here is what this means for longevity. As we age, ribosomes can become less accurate. They begin producing misfolded or dysfunctional proteins, the biological equivalent of a factory starting to produce defective parts. These misfolded proteins are implicated in conditions like Alzheimer's disease and Parkinson's. Keeping your ribosomes functioning efficiently is, in a very real sense, keeping the engine of your body running cleanly. Research suggests several evidence-based approaches to supporting ribosomal health. Moderate caloric restriction, eating enough to thrive but not to excess, has been shown in multiple studies to reduce the metabolic burden on ribosome production and is one of the most consistently replicated longevity interventions in the scientific literature, with research going back nearly a century. Resistance training has been shown to stimulate what scientists call ribosome biogenesis, actually increasing the number of functional ribosomes in aging muscle tissue, which helps maintain muscle mass and protein synthesis efficiency as we get older. Adequate sleep is also critically important. Research published in Nature Neuroscience found that sleep deprivation in older adults suppresses the transcriptional activity associated with ribosomal function. In plain terms, when you are sleep deprived, your cellular protein factories slow down and become less reliable. And nutrients matter. Studies suggest that omega-3 fatty acids found in fatty fish, flaxseed, and walnuts play a measurable role in supporting energy metabolism and may help reduce the oxidative stress that damages ribosomal machinery over time. 3 Nobel Prizes, 3 decades of research, 3 completely independent scientific journeys into the machinery of life. And yet, when you step back and look at what all 3 discoveries ultimately point toward, something remarkable becomes clear. Dr. Blackburn's work on telomeres, Dr. Osumi's work on autophagy, and Dr. Ramakrishnan's work on ribosomes all converge on the same 3 fundamental habits. Move your body consistently, sleep deeply and sufficiently, and eat in a way that nourishes without overwhelming. This is not coincidence. These habits work because they address the biology directly. Exercise activates autophagy and stimulates ribosome biogenesis. Sleep allows cellular repair and maintains ribosomal accuracy. A nutrient-rich, moderate diet protects telomeres, sustains autophagy cycles, and reduces oxidative damage to your cellular machinery. None of this requires a supplement. None of it requires a prescription. and the science behind it is not emerging or speculative. It is Nobel Prize validated. Your one action for tonight. Pick the smallest possible version of one of these habits and begin it today. A 10-minute walk, moving your last meal 30 minutes earlier, turning off your screen and going to sleep. Small, consistent inputs to your biology compound over time in ways that researchers are only beginning to fully understand. Longevity is not about chasing the next breakthrough. It is about honoring the breakthroughs that are already built into you. If this gave you a new way of thinking about your health, share it with someone you care about. And if you want to go deeper on any one of these topics, telomeres, autophagy, or cellular repair, let me know in the comments below. I read every one. Take care of yourself. I'll see you in the next video.